Hello and welcome to the first episode of Freshly Squeezed Audio. I'm your host. Can I say host?
You can say host.
I can say host. Host or oast? Host. I'm your host, Silentrooms Aron. And this week, we're talking about something new, as you might know from the trailer before. I'm assuming you watched that, yeah? Anyway, yeah. So I thought the great idea to start this off with a little bit of charity. And the charity is to do with the old C word, cancer, sadly. But the reason is, a good friend of mine has produced a very good album, and it's called Giving Shelter, Funding Housing for Cancer Patients and Their Families. And this came about after his wife Janine passed away from cancer. And Jeff Millar, as the album is A Jeff Millar-Sax Project, himself has not been too well. Actually, M1, you put a photo up? Yep, Jeff, that's a picture of you in hospital. But that gives you an idea of what he has been doing during the making of this album. So to go through all of that, and the loss of his lovely wife, and to come up with this is quite fantastic. And above all of that, this is all done in LA with just grade A session musicians all the way through. I mean, these guys have played with everyone in the studio, live. They've been on all of everyone. They're absolutely spectacular. In fact, the producer Josh Egan, who also drums on this album, he's worked with from the likes of Toto to Pink. So he's from old to modern day artists, so you get an idea of the variety of musicians are on this. So what's the album like? Well, the album is soft rock blues. There is a track on there, it's a bit of a power rock track on there, and it's got a bit of a hint of jazz. Warning kids, there's a few tracks on there which will get your parents, if they would listen to this album, they would be smooching. Do kids use the word smooching nowadays?
I think they do. Toss and hockey? Is that the one?
That's not a good way to put your parents, is it? No way should any kid put Togs of Hockey and parents in the same subject. It's just wrong. So smooching, I think, is a good way of describing this. It's a smoochy for your parents album. But for anyone else, it is a really good album. It's not for everyone's taste. I mean, if you're into death metal, this is not your album. If you're into hip hop, it's not quite your album. You might find a few samples of it. Whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a really good album, and I'm sure you'll know someone in your family who would appreciate this as a Christmas present. And at the same time, you're putting some money into the help to prevent cancer and help anyone that has been involved with cancer. So it's two birds, one stone. So you know, it's a feel-good factor just by buying it. So anyway, the tracks on it. One of my favourite tracks, track 2. It's called Magic. And at first I thought the chap singing was Ben Harper, but it's not Ben Harper. I mean, I'm a good Ben Harper fan. I love him dearly, and the guy reminds me of Ben Harper. So instantly, I really like the track. It is the smoochy song. Again, should come with a warning, but it's a really good song. The vocals are brilliant on it. The vocalists all the way through. There's different vocalists all the way through this album, including Jeff singing. So like I say, it's an array of music types and music styles, just because of that variation of whoever was on the track and whoever's singing on the track. The next song I like is track 4, Going Nowhere, and it seems to be a rarity now that you hear a bass player. You know, most of the time they just put in the background a bit of bed in a song. You know, no, this is a fretless bass, and he starts off straight away with some really nice licks, and then it's met up with a bit of acoustic guitar, and it was just great to hear that again. So really like that track. The bass player is fantastic. All the musicians, like I said, are fantastic. You can't go wrong with it. The next song is my second to favourite song. It's an instrumental. It's called Theme to a Never Ending Love Story. And It is fantastic. It's an acoustic track. It's got fantastic acoustic guitaring all the way through, and actually, this is you've got this on loop in the background as I talk. Yeah. Okay. So if I shut up for a bit, I can't hear this because it's going to be editing on after, but I'm going to just do that and pretend I'm with the beat. But it's on now. It is a fantastic song. So, but after I've done all this anyway, we will play you a reel of a snippet of each song, so you can get an idea of what the album is. So you'll know who you know might like it, so you can go and buy it. We'll give you all the information at the end anyway, so you know where to get it from. Last but not least is my absolute favourite. I'll tell you a little bit about Jeff himself. His wife was from England. I think he's a bit of an England fan, to be quite honest. And I don't blame him. I'm English, sort of, I think. M1 is English. He doesn't look it. He looks like a Viking or a bear in a cave. If you know M1, which I'm sure you do if you follow his channels, you know the guy looks a bit like a Viking cross between a bear. But he is English. I've seen his passport. It does not look anything like he does now. Serious lack of hair in that one. But he's English, so we don't blame Jeff for wanting to be English at all. But anyway, I'm babbling. He is a big Beatles fan, and this song is a 10-minute song and a tribute to the Beatles. It's full of Easter eggs all the way through. If you're a Beatles fan, don't expect it to sound like a Beatles song. It's not. It's in the style of these guys that worked on the song, and it's in the style of Jeff. But it's all the way through. It's screaming the Beatles. It's just a lyrical heaven of reminders of Beatles tracks. Even little touches that Josh in the studio has done just to remind you of certain little effects of back in the day they use. There's a lot of that in it. As the song goes, it's one of those songs, if you were going to hear it live, it's a 10-minute song. It could be 20-minute song. It could be a 30-minute song. It's one of those songs you don't want it to end. It's absolutely epic. The guitarist on it really brings it in. I love it. I'm jealous that I'm not on the track as a guitarist. It's one of those songs where, if you're a fan of music, you just want to be a fly on the wall and just listen to it and just enjoy the whole atmosphere and just watch the creativity of bands play. This is one of those songs. I mean, whether you're into whatever music you're into, whether you're a jazz guitarist, whether you're a metal guitarist, whether you're a rock guitarist, it's just one of those ones where you know, as a musician, when you get together and you jam out, it's one of those songs that everyone can work with. It's a universal language of music. And I wish to God I was there in the room when this is recorded, jamming along with this, because it'd just be perfect. So I know Jeff's talking about doing more albums in the future, and I would like to be a part of that. Maybe. M1, would you like to be a part of that?
I'd like to be a part of that.
I think he might bring it over to England. Let's get a load of English musicians on it. You got LA, now let's get England. I mean, California, it's about the size of England, isn't it? Anyway, it's fantastic song. And yeah, like I say, it's just going to cancer. The whole album, you get the CD. It's not on download because he believes in holding something. He's a bit old school. It'd be nice to see it on vinyl. Maybe we'll talk about that later. But comes with that thing that you don't get on a download as a sleeve. It's all the information there. A great story about him and his wife and what he had to go through just to, to the end of days of his own wife, to all the hard work that him and the musicians have put in. Loads of great photos of all the guys involved. Like I said, these guys are well known. I mean, just when you read this, like I said, with this information, you go on the website, but you can just punch in some of these guys' names in Wikipedia and you see the list of the people that these guys have worked with. It's absolutely fantastic, and it's a great little sleeve inside just to finish it off. There's a couple of pictures which are quite close to my heart. A very, very close friend of mine, Roger Pope, died last year of the horrible C word, and he was supposed to be the drummer on this album. He didn't make it, and so there's wee pictures of him there with his wife Sue. So it just adds a little bit more personal touch for myself. But you can't go wrong. I mean, it's one of those albums. It's going to a good cause, and it sounds absolutely brilliant. So go out and buy it, or buy it for someone, like I said. In a minute we'll show you all, and then after that I'll give you I'm doing another review on what's not an album, so stay tuned and you'll see me reviewing things that I just find that it's just not an album. Hope you enjoy that. Should be interesting. That's my first episode done. Hope you like it, and stay tuned. Next week is something old, I do believe. I know what you kids are like. I used to be the same. Just because it's 5 years old doesn't mean it's ancient. So, but it could be from the 90s, it could be from the 70s, it could be from the 80s. But I warn you now, if kids you find the 80s ancient, this could be an archaeological dig for all you know. But the idea is to bring something old back into the modern world. People that might not have heard it, or even people that have heard of it or are a big fan of it. You know, it's always good to, you know, bring back something up. Just because it's old doesn't mean it can't be bloody good. And I'll tell you now, some of the stuff from back in the day is far better than some of the stuff I've heard today. So it'd be a learning curve to some, it'd be a recap to others. To me, it's something that I like, or someone has brought up to me and suggested maybe. But yeah, that's going to be something on, and we're going to do that next week. So I hope you're going to enjoy that as much as you may have enjoyed this. And if there's anything anyone wants to give us some ideas on what else we could possibly do to enhance this program, just let us know. Me and M1, have we got an email that people can chat us to, or I suppose we got a Facebook page?
We've got emails. We've got Aaron at freshlysqueezedaudio.com. We've also got M1 at freshlysqueezedaudio.com.
There you go, you heard it from the bear. So yeah, let us know. It's all new, so, and we want to grow. So have a good day, and I'll see you soon. See ya. Ciao.
Another day, I miss that magic. Oh, I miss that. Wanna die. If only the then again, I don't know you at all, 'cause your heart is so far away. And I don't.
That's not an album, that's a goldfish!